Hey, you. So I want to talk to the woman who is trying to lose weight and you're struggling. You're of a certain age. You're having a hard time. You're believing all kinds of things. And you're just secretly struggling with fear. You have some kind of fear that so many women, I've coached over 600 women now, and I see so many women carrying fear into their weight loss journeys. They carry fear into every single attempt at losing weight. And that fear has a voice. And that voice sounds like your own thought. And that thought is, what if I fail again? Like you don't even want to start because you believe that you're going to fail again. And most women they don't stop trying to lose weight because they don't care anymore. They don't just say, you know what, forget it. I'm just going to stay this size forever. That's not why they stop. They stop because they stop trying because they care too much. And the reality is they're tired of being profoundly disappointed in themselves. They're just so disappointed in. So when this happens, you start to go into like this self-protection mode. You hesitate, like you won't even like try another program. Or you hover and you start just collecting information about diets, or you'll try one and then you only half commit. You only half commit, and you half commit, and it's not because you don't want to change. It's actually because you're afraid of confirming what you are actually believing. And what you're actually believing is deep down that your failure is inevitable. And here is a truth, if this is you, here's a truth that you absolutely need to hear. You don't fail because you're weight loss resistant. You don't fail because you haven't found the right meal plan for your life. You don't fail because you're too old. You don't fail because you've got too much weight to lose. You don't fail because you are completely an undisciplined person. You are lacking the discipline and self-control. You don't fail because you're a foodie. You don't fail because you're meant to stay at this size. You fail because you're trying to sustain and change, trying to change yourself from the exact same identity that created the weight loss difficulty, the weight loss struggle in the first place. And a lot of women start to approach weight loss just like this. This is what I hear so often. I'm going to try again, but I'm not going to get my hopes up. And that sounds like logic. It sounds wise. It sounds like giving yourself grace. You're going to try, but you're not going to get your hopes up. It sounds a little bit like mature and almost self-protective. But what it really is how you are agreeing with a lie. And that lie is a thought that you hear in your head all the time, where you say to yourself, you know what, this never lasts for me. I'm a good starter, I'm not a good finisher, I can lose the weight, I can't keep it off. That is how you agree with a lie. And when you believe that your failure is absolutely inevitable, you won't fully engage. You won't fully engage. Like, you don't actually fully commit. You don't fully follow through. But subtly. Like, you start strong, but you kind of keep one foot out the door. It's kind of like you start watching for signs that it's not working. And you just are kind of bracing yourself for the moment when it all falls apart and you start to prove to yourself, see, I knew it wouldn't work. See, I knew I couldn't do it. That's not discernment. That's discouragement. Like basically wearing wisdom's clothes. And here's the thing about discouragement. It is so sneaky. I know you know this because you very likely have lived with it for a long time. It doesn't always show up really as sadness. Sometimes it shows up as realism, as lowered expectations, as, you know what, I'll just do what I can. Sorry, people with dogs understand. But discouragement is always going to lead you back to the exact same place. It's going to just lead you right on back to starting over. And here's the part that nobody ever explains. You cannot build a new future while you keep rehearsing like an old ending. And if every single attempt is made with the expectation that it's not going to last, it doesn't matter, you're going to regain the weight. If every single attempt is made with that expectation, you are never going to give yourself fully to the process. You're just not. You're always going to be looking for an out. You're always going to be looking for evidence that you're just not strong enough, that it's not the right time, that life is too hard in this season of your life. And here's the thing I want you to know. I don't want you to think that you are doomed, like that you can't lose the weight. You can lose this weight. It means that your approach needs to change, because your transformation doesn't come from you trying again with less hope each time. It comes from becoming somebody new. This is something nobody ever said to me when I was on my weight loss journey. You don't need a more motivated version of yourself. You don't need a stricter version of yourself. You need a yielded version of yourself. One who stops saying things to herself like, why does this always happen to me? You need to start asking yourself instead, who am I becoming as I follow? Because right now you're receiving guidance from the Holy Spirit. Are you yielding? Because you very likely know that you're being told what to do, what not to do, what to eat, what not to eat. But you're not yielding. And I want you to ask yourself, who am I becoming as I follow the Spirit's leadership? If you've been afraid to start again, if you've been bracing yourself for failure before you even begin, because you're basing it on your past, if you've been carrying like this quiet belief that change just takes too long and that it just simply never sticks for you, that belief might be the very thing that is standing in your way. You don't need another restart. You need a new foundation, even in weight loss.